Ladies and gentlemen, today is a historic day. Welcome to NSW Jubilee Stadium, Sydney Olympic FC's first ever doubleheader taking place at Cogra. Today we have the National Premier League's New South Wales Round 21, first grade men's clash between Sydney Olympic and APIA Leichhardt FC. A big welcome to all our players and their families who are in attendance, as well as our sponsors, members and supporters. Have you bought your Sydney Olympic Football Club merchandise yet? Get on down to the merchandise store near Gate B, or pick up your very own limited edition 3032 print and get it signed by the players at the end of the match. Sydney Olympic FC would like to acknowledge the wonderful support it receives from its commercial partners: Chasso, Simon Curl Jewelers, Harris Constructions, Canterbury Leagues Club, Crown Plaza, Conquest, Bendigo Bank, and Kelly Partners. Going through the starting lineup for Sydney Olympic, or rather for APIA Leichhardt the visitors. Number 1, Anthony Buzanas. Number 4, Josh Simmons. Number 7, Jack Stewart. Number 9, Ben Gibson. Number 11, Rory Jordan. Number 15, Temba Guatemala. Number 16, Sean Simmons. Number 17, Jordan Segreto. Number 18, and captain Adrian Aquino. Number 22, Eddie Caspers. And number 23, Dakota Askew.
Good evening and welcome to NetStrata Jubilee Stadium as we get set for a midweek heavyweight clash. Historical rivals doing battle yet again in the NPL New South Wales men's competition. Two clubs built off a strong migrant background with a passion for football that continues right here today as they write another chapter in their historic rivalry. And there's plenty of anticipation about this one. It was washed out a couple of weeks ago, but they're back again, and it's always a game that's circled on the calendar. We've had to wait a bit longer for it. The wait is no more as Sydney Olympic host APIA Leichhardt. Will Constantinidis with you for the commentary this afternoon, and it promises to be a really intriguing game. A midweek fixture, you never know what you're going to get, and with APIA stumbling a bit recently in Olympic, trying to make a late surge towards the finals, this one is truly up in the air. Apologies for the delay in kickoff. That was for the Sapphire Cup. Sydney Olympics women's team defeated APIA Leichhardt by 2 goals to nil. That one went to 120 minutes. Without any further delay, let's get straight into the team. You're starting first with Sydney Olympic, and this is truly a must-win game for Labano Halidi's side. And with the end of the season drawing near, it's now or never for them to make a push into the top 6, and they're not far away from it at all. Winning this game and taking the momentum from it could see them slide into the finals, but they'll need to improve on last week's loss to the Mariners, and Halidi has made plenty of changes in search of doing just that. 4 changes to the side that lost to the Mariners, with Jack Simmons, Michael Vakis, Teng Kuol and George Antonis dropping to the bench. As for the rest of the Olympic 11, it goes like this. Number 2 is Peter Politis. Number 4 is Michael Glassok. Number 8 is Sam McElhadden. 11 is Adam Parkhouse. 12 is Zach Zoricic. 15 is Will Much. 20, the goalkeeper, is Chris Parsons. 9 is Oliver Pufflet, who is one of the new inclusions to the side, as is number 99. Certainly a man that Labano Halidi is loving to have back at his disposal, is Roy O'Donovan. And Abraham Majok also rounds out the 11 for Labano Halidi. Well, as for APIA and Franco Parisi's side, as mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they've hit a bit of a stumbling block, and that has all but eliminated them from defending their Premier's plate, which is still mathematically in their grasp. It's 11 points back from Red Hot Rockdale with 7 games remaining, so it's still doable, but it's going to be very difficult to track them down. For now, though, they look relatively set in the top 6 in the finals, but will have their eyes on that second spot, chasing down a more favourable draw in the knockout stages of the competition. As Sydney Olympic get us underway through McElhadden, we'll give you the full APIA 11 in just a moment, as Olympic make their way down the wing. Here is Zach Zoricic at left back. Immediately looks long, looking for Roy O'Donovan early, trying to get in behind Guatemala. Couldn't do so. That's going to be an intriguing battle between Guatemala and Roy O'Donovan. Temba Guatemala anchoring the back line, as we'll give you the APIA starting 11 now. In goal is number 1, Anthony Bouzanis. Number 4, Josh Simmons. 7 is Jack Stewart. As we stay with APIA, here is Gibson trying to get around the Olympic defence, laying it off kindly here. It's still with APIA as Caspers gets to the byline, looking to cut it back towards Segredo, and it's an open game here at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. It's to be expected. Slightly wider pitch out here compared to maybe what they're used to, as APIA take the throw. Alongside Bouzanis, Simmons and Stewart is Guatemala, Sean Simmons. Number 17, Jordan Segredo. 18, the captain, Adrian Uchino. 22 is Edward Caspers. Number 23 is Dakota Askew. And the 2 new inclusions, Ben Gibson and Rory Jordan, certainly ones that Labano Halidi will enjoy having, given his side struggles in recent weeks. Those 2 can certainly fill up the goals as APIA look to get into the box. Gibson was the intended target as Majok flicks that forward. It's only received by Josh Simmons. And Simmons keeps his run going forward, intercepted by Will Much, and APIA still have possession on the edge of the area. Askew. APIA will be slight favourites given their higher ladder position, and they've gotten better of Olympic in their last few games. But again, Olympic are at home. They've played well at home, spiritual home, of course, Belmore, but looking to make Netstrata Jubilee Stadium a bit of their home as well. A whole host of games slated to be played here. They were meant to play their first game at Netstrata Jubilee right here against APIA, but it was, of course, washed out, which meant that they had to do it against the Mariners instead. And as mentioned, that wasn't the result they were after. So looking to right the wrongs of that previous result as Parkhouse loses possession and Askew promptly moves it forward for Jordan, and Gibson has almost sprung the offside trap. He wasn't far away. It was Ben Gibson. He's had a bit of time out of the squad, but showing plenty of fresh legs up top in that number 9 jersey for APIA. Zoricic. As McElhadden flicks it forward, intended for Parkhouse. APIA do well to break up that attack. McElhadden rising in midfield alongside Caspers, and it's the visitors getting a nice spell of possession in these opening few minutes here. Askew gets the call to turn and swings that pass wide to Simmons. Seen Simmons play left back a few times now this season. Long-time fans of the competition might be used to seeing him further forward in the front three as Stewart, his cross cannons off Zoricic and might have caught him in another unfavourable position. Nevertheless, it's APIA who have the corner. As Segredo waltzes his way down to the corner flag to take. Chance for the visitors to make some early impact here. Numbers around the back stick here for Jordan Segredo to aim for. As he swings it in, it's floated nice and high, and up was Ziggy Gordon. Now, Olympic on the counter-attack. Lovely switch of play. It's going to have to be dealt with here by Simmons. He almost made a meal of it, and McElhatton had drifted well forward from midfield to try and continue the counter-attack. It was a bursting run forward made initially by Adam Parkhouse. Showing all the speed he has on the wing. He can be so dangerous when he gets a full head of steam, and you'd think with this wider pitch that there'll be plenty of space out there for him to use. A nice flash of positivity there for Olympic. Showing that they can be a threat on the counter-attack. Something very attacking lineup. From Halidi, you have Parkhouse and Jock, Pufflet, O'Donovan. That's a really formidable front four. As they look to get a bit of controlled possession around the back. There is Will Much. Pufflet checked in deep to receive. McElhatton's ball forward deflects out. As mentioned at the top of the broadcast, APIA do enjoy a favourable record against Olympic. It's 3 games undefeated against their crosstown rivals, including a 2-0 win early this season where Jordan Segredo and Jack Stewart got on the score sheet. They'll be hoping they can repeat it. As for Olympic, it's been some time since they defeated APIA in this derby. It was all the way back in July of 2022. As Jordan has fallen out into an offside position. You won't be able to see it directly on the broadcast, but the bulk of the crowd is below us on level 1, right here at Netstrata Jubilee. And quick peer down before. It was a nice crowd building here. And Zoricic makes a nice overlapping run and flings it in towards the box, but that's calmly claimed by Bazanis. And Parkhouse will have to cover his fullback now as APIA look to make quick work of this attack. Stewart driving forward, dispossessed by Majok. Parkhouse has the ball at his feet and uses McElhatton. Touch was a little heavy though, and now APIA exchange passes in midfield between Caspers and Segredo. A fantastic year the pair of them have had since joining APIA. Caspers and Segredo both playing at Bulls Academy and Mariners respectively. A rare error from Guatemala at the back. He's usually so calm on the ball. That time his touch fell wayward, and that's for O'Donovan to calmly leave that for Zach Zoricic, it looks like, to take. So far, the biggest chance of the game early was that half one-on-one really from McElhatton. Sean Simmons would put enough pressure to deal with the danger as here goes Parkhouse looking to beat Askew. Low driven ball into the area. McElhatton couldn't make the required connection, and now APIA have plenty of space to work with out on this left wing. Simmons fakes the long ball forward, goes centrally instead, and just plays a simple pass to Uchino. APIA will adopt the more patient approach instead. Segredo looking for that incisive ball forward, and Gordon's pass intercepted by Gibson allows APIA to keep the foot on the throttle here as here goes Gibson again. Looking to shield it away from Peter Politis, and the end result of all that is an APIA corner. Segredo tasked with taking it again. Both sides throwing little jabs at each other early in these first 10 minutes. And we've seen high-scoring games between them. We'll get to that after this corner as Segredo maybe looking to go a bit closer to Parsons this time. He goes towards the 6-yard area, and Gibson for a moment, I think he assumed that Dakota Askew was getting to it. He turned his back from the play, and that meant it rolled out towards the far side. It was a dangerous delivery from Segredo. APIA looking to pose a bit of a threat from these set pieces. And just going back to games between these sides, it was August 2023 that APIA defeated Olympic by 5-3 at Belmore. That was a crazy game with Jack Stewart scoring 4, Armson scoring as well. He's not in the starting 11, he's on the bench. Meanwhile, Roy O'Donovan pitched in with a couple. Now it's APIA's turn for some possession around the halfway line as Josh Simmons lies mixed up between him and Caspers. Certainly a bit of a contrast in styles with APIA playing the 4-3-3 versus Olympics 4-4-2 as Zoricic looks to use his speed to get around Askew, who's no slouch when it comes to pace. And Zoricic has done well here to get to the byline, cutting it back. Putt shots deflected for McElhatton, and that had some real power behind it. It's still alive here for Olympic. O'Donovan looking to keep the attack going, but again, another warning shot fired by Sydney Olympic. It was some industrious work down this wing by the fullback, Zach Zoricic, and he had his choice of passes. He was able to find Ollie Pufflet. His shot came back out again for McElhatton, and looking at the replay, that really tested Bazanis. I'm not sure if it would have stayed under the crossbar. It certainly would have been close. APIA looked to get going. Casper's trying to turn, but is promptly shut down there by Michael Glassock. Pufflet, lovely touch forward for Majok. Has he stayed onside? The flag is down for Majok. Hits it straight into Bazanis, and the APIA bench are up in arms about that. They felt that Majok was well offside. After Pufflet got the all-important first touch. And just taking a look at the replay, it was certainly close. It was Josh Simmons maybe who kept him on, but again, Olympic have had the better of the chances between the two sides early. As dangerous moment for Segredo. Almost got caught in possession, eventually passed it out of danger, but only into the feet of Sam McElhatton. Zoricic finds O'Donovan checking in as Majok couldn't wrestle away from Guatemala. It's been a very interesting first 12 minutes or so as Gordon stretching out to deny that ball forward to Gibson. Will Much can't keep it in on that far side and stays with APIA. It's been a very fast start here at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. Stewart, a rare chance for him to get on the ball. He hasn't seen too much of it, has Jack Stewart. The time touch was a little wayward, but his team are able to hold possession of the ball. Dakota Askew. Now his chance to go at Zoricic. He gets to the byline himself, cutting it back for Gibson. It was a nice floated ball, but Gibson was crowded around him by Peter Politis and Ziggy Gordon and couldn't get the required purchase on the header. And just as one side gets forward, the other immediately responds. Here is Uchino. Askew flicked it back from Guatemala, who finds a nice pass forward, but Segredo will have to try and win it back from Politis if APIA are able to win this back. It's deflected though, and Gibson has picked it up in a good position here for APIA. Was looking for Caspers. And again, Olympic able to see away the danger. Both sides having a few nervy moments at the back right now. It's a couple occasions now from both APIA and Olympic at the back that they've had a few loose passes or heavy touches under pressure. Certainly a slippery surface out there. The women's game before this saw plenty of rain, which has stayed away for the time being, but it might come back. As much does well to turn his way out of any potential danger. And now Roy O'Donovan has the ball at his feet. Here is Glassock. Again, they look for Majok. This time he's certainly onside. Abraham Majok, and now things could get interesting here for Guatemala. He pulled down Majok, who was racing away towards Bazanis, and Guatemala has seen red here in the first 15 minutes at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. And there can be no doubt that Majok had a goal-scoring opportunity. He got the other side of Guatemala, and Guatemala tried to raise his hands in pleading not guilty, but he did make plenty of contact with Majok, and once the referee adjudged the foul, there was only one card that was coming out. Now APIA have to see out the remaining 75 minutes of this contest, down a man and down a key central defender. As Guatemala sees red. For now, though, it looks like Franco Parisi isn't going to make any changes, and just looking back at the replay as to how that all transpired, it was a ball forward from Glassock. Guatemala was caught not being goal side of Majok, and once that ball floated forward, Majok had the step on him, he had the pace, and forced the defender into the foul. It'll be Parkhouse over the resulting free kick. And it rolls down into the grateful arms of Anthony Bazanis. Now, how will APIA respond being down a man? They have plenty to do here. If they're to keep the 3-game unbeaten run against their local rivals intact. Just looking at the changes now, it looks like Jordan Segredo has gone to right back. So he was previously in central midfield, and now that means Dakota Askew has gone into centre back from right back. So APIA looking like they're lining up with a 4-4-1 now in response to that red card from Temba Guatemala. And now Olympic will certainly have the lion's share of the ball. It's about how they control it, how they try and move around this APIA defence. They'll have plenty of time to do it. Have to be wary of APIA's threat on the other end as well. They can score goals. They're the leading goal scorers in the competition, are APIA Leichhardt. As here is Zach Zoricic. Now Glassock. Olympic looking to shift the ball side to side, try and poke and prod any holes in this APIA defence. Zoricic, again he goes to the byline, a bit more power on the cross this time. It's only onto the chest of Rory Jordan. He looks to switch as the play, and there is Parkhouse using his speed, that time for defence. Zoricic once more, he's looked good going forward. Had it taken off his toes momentarily. It stays with Olympic for now. Lovely ball by Glassock, out to Much. His turn to attack. Sends his defender the wrong way. Here's Much, and it deflects out for an Olympic corner. As mentioned, APIA the top scorers in the competition. 65 goals scored in their 23 games played. That's a very handy scoring clip, and these are a threat at all times, but Olympic now certainly have everything going in their favour. They've got a corner here to try and make something work. In comes the delivery. It's towards the penalty spot. Up goes Glassick. Couldn't direct it goalwards. Has it float down to his feet, though. Zoricic puts it back into the mix. Pufflet is amongst the crowd. Couldn't get to it. It's here for Politis. That one was always rising from the Olympic central defender. APIA now will sit back, and this poses an interesting conundrum for Olympic. We saw in the opening 15 minutes or so of this game, a lot of their chances came from balls in behind this high APIA line, with Majok getting behind Guatemala, which caused the red card, and we saw McElhatton do the same. We saw Majok have a one-on-one from ball in behind the high line as well, and now that APIA will be looking to preserve the current state of the game a bit more, maybe sit a bit deeper, that might throw up some different questions for the Olympic defence to try and deal with. No doubt if they can try and stretch APIA wide and make use of some tired legs at the back, they could force an error and get that all-important first goal. And Segredo pass is picked off by Glassick, and now this is the chance where Olympic can be dangerous. Majok able to win it back, has O'Donovan and Pufflet queuing in the box, and couldn't wrap his foot around the ball. Roy O'Donovan was free in the area if he could have found him. Looking to add his 16th goal of the season is Roy O'Donovan. He's had a couple of weeks out of the squad. He's back in now. He missed their last game against the Mariners and sorely missed. It's going to be a difficult night up front now for Gibson, Jordan and Stewart. Doubt they'll see all that much of the ball, as this midfield of APIA will be pinned back in their own half. Here is Josh Simmons. That's a dangerous ball. It's just going to run along for a Dakota Askew, as Roy O'Donovan was hunting in search of that intercept. As here goes Parkhouse. He's looked good early. Now Glassock. McElhatton. Peter Politis. Zoricic looking for Abraham Majok, whose pace has caused the APIA defence plenty of problems. Now it's Gibson's turn to try and get in behind. He's got to do it all by himself, though. Doesn't have any maroon shirts around him. He's done well to win his side a throw, though. And he looks to get play going quickly. Here is Jack Stewart. Looking to feed it between the lines. He's found Rory Jordan. Jordan still on the edge of the area. Looking for that reverse ball. Doesn't come off. But APIA will enjoy a bit of possession now. A chance to try and rest some of these tired legs at the back. Get the ball to feet and maybe try and build something of their own. Nice ball forward by Josh Simmons. Caspers does well to get the toe on the ball and keep it with APIA. Gibson dropping it short for Uchino. Here is Sean Simmons. Low-driven cross is dealt with well enough by Gordon, and now this is where Olympic have looked good on the counter-attack with the pace of Parkhouse. And he can't beat Askew to the ball. It was just a bit behind him. And with 22 minutes gone here at Netstrata Jubilee, it's certainly looking good for Olympic. They've got the man advantage. They've had a few shots on goal, and they keep knocking down the door. You'd fancy one of these to go in sooner rather than later. As for APIA, they've regrouped fairly well since that red card. They've had the ball to feet a few times, including now. There's the Simmons brothers. Exchange passes. Here is Sean Simmons. Uchino. For that ball onto the chest of Segredo. It found him, but there was Parkhouse right on his touch, and Segredo got enough of Parkhouse's shirt to warrant the foul. Gordon out to Much. For Olympic, they've got a bit of defending to do now as APIA have possession. Here is Bazanis. Only finds the sideline, and frustrating start for APIA continues. They've basically spent the last 10 minutes entirely in their own half, as is to be expected. How Olympic capitalise on this pressure as Majok and O'Donovan look to link up. That time it doesn't come to fruition. Gibson doing a nice bit of hold-up play there, allows his side to advance the ball. Segredo. Crossfield switch out to Gibson, and again APIA continue to have their attacks thwarted, but they've continued to remain positive here. Jordan. And now APIA have a couple more numbers to work with as Sean Simmons overlaps on the far side. Instead, Jordan goes to Stewart. Eventually it makes its way out to Simmons. Stewart again. Jack Stewart looking to maybe fashion a shot. Turns and shoots. And had Parsons briefly interested, but it ultimately floats over the bar. And that'll be cause for optimism around APIA that they can find opportunities, even if it does take the spectacular from some of their attacking stars like Jack Stewart. Zoricic's pass found Majok and went in strong on Segredo. Segredo's come off a bit worse for wear there. He's limping up to his feet, but looks okay enough to continue. Bazanis using the short ball as APIA will play out even under pressure here despite being down a man. And they've done very well to move that out. Here is Dakota Askew, and now APIA, this might be a bit more substantial going forward from them. Here is Jordan. Evades the initial challenge, has Stewart and Gibson in support. Looking for that pass for Gibson, and he wasn't far away from getting to it. Franco Parisi will certainly be encouraged with how his side were able to play out from pressure. They were brave despite being down a man. They worked it well, showing why they're sitting on third on the ladder right now. Olympic will no doubt be wary of that threat, as mentioned, as here go APIA again. This has been a nice couple of minutes. They've been able to get the ball forward. And it's always going to be difficult against the numbers advantage that Olympic have. Here is Ziggy Gordon. And Halidi pushing his side forward, looking to try and move the ball as fast as they can. As again, here comes that long ball looking for Majok. Parkhouse is able to get his foot to it. Majok can try and put this goalward. And he does. And after knocking on the door for the last 20 minutes, Olympic get the goal. And it's Abraham Majok, the man who forced the red card. And he's the man that gets the goal for Olympic. His sixth goal of the campaign, and it's going to be one of the easier finishes he'll have of the year. But he dispatched it with confidence, and he puts Olympic into the lead. After Parkhouse was able to get his foot on the ball and take it around Bazanis, and from there, Majok just had to keep it away from the defenders, and he did. And Olympic now have this 1-0 lead. And despite APIA's best efforts at going forward, it's no less than Olympic have deserved. They've come close plenty of times, and said it about 10 minutes ago, if they were going to keep playing this way, they would get one eventually, and sure enough, they did. And again, it's the speed of Parkhouse and Majok coming to fruition for Labano Halidi. They were able to get behind the APIA defence, and from there it was easy enough for Majok to tap it into an empty net. Olympic look to pile on the misery, looking for that all-important second goal. Here is Roy O'Donovan. It fell to him rather unexpectedly, and I think that might have influenced his shot. It didn't look like he was quite ready for that one to fall his way. Gino has found Segredo here. He's gotten forward himself. You can just see the amount of numbers that Olympic are able to get back. There was about 5 or 6 of them tracking back compared to the 3 that APIA had going forward. And that has summarised APIA's attempts to get forward despite being a man down. For now, though, here is Gibson looking to make something work for APIA as they try and respond immediately. Simmons. He's almost won his side of corner. I thought that might have floated out. Instead, it's kept in by Gordon. Puffler and Glassuk combine. And win the throw. Olympic will march numbers further up the pitch. And so with 15 minutes to go in the first half, this game is firmly in control of the hosts right now, and that's exactly what their fans would love to see after a disappointing result last time they played here. Stewart, blue shirt surrounding him, and now here is Roy O'Donovan with space to attack, looking to unselfishly play it for Parkhouse. It was well read by Segredo. It's all hands on deck right now for APIA to try and avoid the second goal before half-time. You think being down a man and 2 goals heading into the break, it's a very difficult position to come back from as Stewart looks to make his foray forward. If they can keep it at 1, head into the break and get some words from Franco Parisi, maybe make a couple of changes. They still consider themselves well and truly in this game. But Olympic have done a fantastic job of shutting them down and suffocating the ball. Parkhouse again, looking to use Majok. His pace continues to be a problem for APIA. Majok leaves it for Zoricic. Lovely turn by Zoricic. Gets to the byline, floating it towards goal. And a cheeky roulette from the left back, and that would have been some solo effort if he was able to pull it off. And this left-hand side of the Sydney Olympic attack has been extremely dangerous between Zoricic and Parkhouse. The two of them have plenty of pace, and whenever they go at the APIA defence, more often than not, they've been successful. As Gibson now. The flag has stayed down for Gibson to try and make it 1-1. Gibson on goal. Saved by Parsons. And that was a golden opportunity for APIA to try and level it back to 1-1. As Olympics defence was caught napping this time. It was Ben Gibson who has scored a bucket load of goals for APIA this season. He's their top scorer for good reason. And he hasn't had all that many shots on goal. He's been starved of opportunities. I think that might have factored into the finish. He had a bit of pressure on him as well. It certainly was a good chance at scoring, and wouldn't that have changed the tide of this first half if APIA were able to get one back? And it looks like it's spurred them on now as they have the ball at their feet on the halfway line. Zoricic steps in. He took the gamble, but now he's out of position as Stewart looks to get behind McElhatton. That's a great challenge by the former APIA midfielder. Stewart whips it in. It flicks off the head of Gibson. Didn't know all that much about it. Rolls it out calmly, and Olympic will just try and take the sting out of any momentum that APIA had from that opportunity for Gibson. Trying and keeping the ball in their own defensive third under no real pressure from APIA. Of course, APIA are known for being a high-pressing side. That's how they've scored plenty of their goals this season, feeding off the mistakes of teammates. They'll have to do it another way this evening with a man down. If you joined us late, it was Temba Mwatamalo who was sent off after 15 minutes. It wasn't all that long ago that Abraham Majok scored the opener. There's Olympic looking in search of that second goal to extend the lead. Gordon, or rather Parkhouse, he received it from the Olympic backline. Zoricic couldn't evade a couple of APIA defenders as they win the ball back, and now Josh Simmons looking to add a number in midfield. Gibson has drifted wide to receive, and APIA continue going forward. Here is Jack Stewart, can evade defenders, and is looking for that sliding pass for Gibson, who continues to enterprise forward. And now Majok has Pufflet, who has a bit of pace himself, and he's shrugged off it by Simmons. And Stephen Lucas waves away any potential penalty shots. I don't think there was all that much doing in that one. It was shoulder to shoulder from two of the more physical players on the park, Sean Simmons and Ollie Pufflet. Adjusted down well by Gibson, and they go in search of Stewart. Couldn't win it in the air. Here is Gibson again. Couldn't get away from Glassick, but he's won it back there, and Casper's looking to flick it out towards Jack Stewart. APIA continue to press forward in search of this goal, but it's going to be difficult to come by. Dakota Askew driving forward, takes the shot himself, and he had a good bit of power on it, and a decent bit of swerve as well. Again, Olympic move it out from the back. Under 10 minutes remaining here at NetStrata Jubilee. It's still Olympic in the driver's seat. They've got everything going as they would like it to be, and now Majok looking to turn, provided this time cutting it back post, a diving header onto the crossbar from O'Donovan. And it was Dakota Askew, I believe, at the back, who might have just saved APIA from conceding a second. Chaos almost coming into a second goal there for Sydney Olympic. Again, they go forward. Here is Adam Parkhouse, able to get past his defender and cut it back. It's fallen here for Majok, and Anthony Bazanas took no chances. He just clears that out over the sideline with his feet, lunging to reach the ball. And just taking a look at the replay again, it was Majok who got it back for O'Donovan. It was Askew who didn't know all that much about the ball. That could have easily been chested into his own net. For now, though, Olympic still looking for that goal to double their lead, and APIA are hanging on for dear life right now. That crossbar opportunity will live long in the mind of Roy O'Donovan. He had a good opportunity out. It was a diving header. Would have been an acrobatic finish if he was able to make it stick. Segredo makes a bit of progress down the wing. Has Gibson in the midfield in support. Instead he goes to Caspers. Now here is Jordan, cutting one way then the other, looking for a bit of space to shoot maybe. It's still here with Rory Jordan. Blue shirts in the way once again for Olympic as now they try and turn defence into attack. This is where they've looked good as that time Majok can't beat the APIA defence. Stephen Lucas plays advantage. Sean Simmons trying the skills on the far side. Does well enough to win his side to throw. Stewart quickly moving it on for Jordan, who decides to look back towards the left side, and this is the case when they're down a man. There's not all that many options for APIA to try and use. This time they make it forward as Caspers goes down. It's fallen here for Gibson. APIA might get a shot out of this, and they do. And Sean Simmons is still protesting with Stephen Lucas. They felt they had a good look at that penalty. And as Caspers went to ground in the box, difficult to see from up here, but wouldn't have been all that much contact in it. Just taking a look at it, yeah, it does look like Caspers went to ground rather easily. It was Michael Glassick who was on his back. Olympic now try and again just swing the momentum back in their favour, knowing that APIA have had a few flashes on goal, but still it's Olympic who hold all the cards right now, have this lead, have the man advantage, and had a couple extra chances on top of that as well. And Simmons tries to turn. APIA are alert to the danger that Olympic are presenting when they press, as Gibson gets the call to turn and does. Here is Segredo. That's great stand-up defending there by Zach Zoricic. He's had quite the first half. As mentioned, this left side for Olympic has been so productive, and Zoricic has been doing it both in attack and defence. As much recycles it once more through Ziggy Gordon. There's Parkhouse dropping deep to receive. Tries to take on the defence. Pass will be intercepted here by Adrian Uchino. Caspers does a full circle to get around Majok, and you can see Olympic are trying to win the ball back as quickly as they lose it. Have to be mindful though of APIA's threat going forward if they're not able to win it, as Gordon takes no chances with that and nods it out over the sideline. Just a couple minutes or so remaining in the first half. We might have a decent amount of stoppage time due to that red card for Temba Muatamalo. It'll be more than a couple minutes though, as APIA get into the final third here with Rory Jordan. Was looking for Gibson on the edge of the area, who continues to be shut down. Olympic have done a good job of keying in on APIA's main goal scorer. There's McElhatton using O'Donovan, or Pufflet rather. There's O'Donovan. That was rather clumsy from the Olympic top scorer. Just lazily lunging at the ball. Easy decision for Stephen Lucas. And now Segredo has found a bit of room to work with. It's been rare for him and APIA as Gordon just flicks it out of danger. Wasn't taking any chances. And that'll deflect off. Caspers on the far side, it'll be Much and Sydney Olympic with the throw. Olympic found it difficult against the sides that sit in the top 4 so far this season, as being Rockdale, Marconi, APIA and Blacktown City. When they've played them, they've won once, drawn once and lost 3 times. So looking to make it just their second win against the top 4. This would be arguably the most important. Probably one of the bigger wins of the season. This would be Olympic if they can pull it off to win at home as well. Kickstart a bit of momentum as they enter the final 5 or 6 games of the season. Put themselves within reach of the finals as well. Talk more about that on the other side of the halftime break and how Olympic might fit into the finals equation. They're outsiders right now. They're sitting in 9th. The top 6 is well within reach though. Into the final minute of regulation time here in the first half. It'll probably be 1 or 2 more chances here for Olympic to try and make it 2. That one goes down easily for Anthony Bazanis. Here is Caspers. Gibson taken from him by a combination of Zoricic and Glasic, and it'll be 1 additional minute of time here, confirmed by Isabella Mosson, the 4th official. As Olympic are in no hurry, they know that they just need to keep the ball to feed and find the open man, as they do here with Will Much, who can attack the space ahead of him. Has Pufflet and Majok in support, and was looking for Majok again. That one a little too heavy. But you can see that time Olympic remained patient, stretched the APIA defence wide. Saw there was a gap open for Majok and almost exploited it. Simmons gives it to Jack Stewart, and that's the final action of a good first half from an Olympic perspective. They lead 1-0, courtesy of Abraham Majok's 6th goal of the season. It was an expected result after Temba Mwatamalo was sent off after 15 minutes for APIA. It was Majok who won that foul as well. And Olympic are using the man advantage in full effect right now, and will no doubt have their eyes on adding to their lead in the second half. Meanwhile, for APIA, Franco Parisi and his staff will have to find a way to get back into this one. I've been Will Constantinidis with you for the first half. We'll see you back soon on the other side of this short break. And welcome back to the second half here at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. It's Sydney Olympic who have the 1-0 lead courtesy of Abraham Majok. And they do have that man advantage as well with Tamara Watamala being sent off after 15 minutes. You can just see to the right of your screen. Up here in a bit of a huddle right now, trying to galvanise each other, and this game is within reach. Keep an eye on any changes that were made. Does look like one was made at half-time. We'll try and bring that one to you. For now, though, it's APIA to kick off. And they've got 45 minutes to try and get an equaliser and maybe more. Meanwhile, their opponents, Olympic, will have their eyes on extending this lead even further. Here's Uchino giving it back quickly to Josh Simmons. It does look like APIA have made a sub. It's Jack Armson who's out there. Looks like he's gone on in place of Jack Stewart. So Armson has had goals in him as of late. He scored a hat-trick a couple of weeks ago against the Sutherland Sharks, including an 87th minute winner to come from 2-0 behind. So he's just the man that Franco Parisi would want for this sort of situation. And Armson, who's maybe known for being a bit more of a number 10, he's played up front in recent times, so that's where he's slotted in now for the visitors. He's up here able to win it back. Might just run you through the benches for both teams as well. For APIA, they have Luigi DeTroia, who has some goals in him as well. They have Alexander Parks, the backup keeper, Michael Kuda, Maxim Kasalovic, and Alex Denmead. So there are goals on the bench available for Franco Parisi. If this game stays at 1-0, the longer it stays that way, you think APIA might come into the game a bit more, have a bit of that natural momentum swinging their way as they chase this 1-0 deficit. As for Olympic, they have Montgomery Partington, the backup keeper, as well as Jack Simmons, Darcy Burgess, Michael Vakis, Ten Qual, and George Antonis. It'll be Adam Parkhouse standing over this free kick. It's a good one here for Olympic. Parkhouse floating it towards the back stick. Up goes Bazanis. Got a handy fist to it. It's fallen back out here for McElhadden, who gives it back to the free kick taker, Parkhouse. And he might have handled that one, and he did. And APIA will take their time just to reset things. It looks like Franco Parisi might be going to the bench again. He's making some further instructions to one of his substitutes. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. Here is Armson combining with Uchino. Ping-pongs back and forth in midfield as Zoricic goes in strong. It's ricocheted out to McElhadden, who tries to burst his way through traffic. Wasn't able to do so. And now Sean Simmons bursts forward himself, trying to take it all on his own, trying to get around his former teammate Will Much. Still here with Caspers, who takes it around his defender and's dragged down in the box, and that will be an APIA penalty. And that's exactly what Franco Parisi would have wanted coming out of the break. It was started by Sean Simmons, and then from there, Caspers was able to get a good touch to the ball and take it around his defender. He was dragged down, and there was no doubt from Stephen Lucas as soon as he pointed to the spot. And this is a golden opportunity handed to APIA now. It'll be Ben Gibson to take it. He has 20 goals all competitions this season. Need to try and beat Parsons, and straight out of the break, this will really swing things in APIA's favour. A chance to make it 1-1 despite being a man down. Gibson over this one for APIA, and he calmly dispatches. Cool as you like from the spot. He saw the keeper going the other way and just calmly put it to the other side. Left Chris Parsons wrong-footed. And APIA bringing this back to 1-1, courtesy of a nicely dispatched penalty by their top scorer, Ben Gibson, who makes it 21 goals in all competitions in his first season at the club. And he's had a fantastic 2024, has Ben Gibson. They've missed him in recent weeks, but he's back in the side, and they'll be glad that he's given them the equaliser. And now this game turns. Olympics still have that man advantage, of course. It's been about 40-odd minutes that APIA have been playing with 10 men. Olympic will now have to try and regain the lead, and that's a dream start from an APIA perspective. Olympic try and instantly respond. Pufflet goes in strong, tried to win it back. It will stay here with Olympic as McElhadden's touch. He was trying to keep it alive, and that one goes out. And now there's a bit of an injury concern here for Ollie Pufflet. Looks like he's just down on his haunches here, but now this could be a real concern to Olympic. And Stephen Lucas gives APIA the wave on. Here's Askew, back to Uchino. And that pass might be a bit short for Bazanis, or O'Donovan was in the play, and he tried to make himself as big as possible to force the deflection back on goal. APIA have to be careful here. They don't get too carried away and concede as soon as they've taken the lead. Still 40-odd minutes remaining in this game. Here they go once more. Armson holding up things, this time for Uchino. APIA with a bit more spring in their step, looking for that second goal. And wouldn't that make the headlines? Going up 2-1 after being down a goal and down a man. Such an easy penalty taken by Ved Gibson. Taking a look back at the stream on the replay, you won't see too many as casually taken as that. Waited for the keeper to make his move, had his eyes up and just rolled it into the back of the net from there. Here is McElhadden, has Majok ahead of him, looking to use his pace. He's already got on the score sheet once, has Majok, and the flag was up on the near side, and he made his run a little too early there. Did Abraham Majok, but he just gives APIA a reminder of why he's already gotten on the score sheet and why he's forced them into a red card. It's his pace that has caused them plenty of conundrums at the back. And so far, APIA have really struggled to solve that problem. Really, it's high line they're playing that has left them exposed, but that's the risk they're willing to take. It means trying to win the ball back further up the pitch. Have a very interesting game on our hands here in Netstrata Jubilee Stadium in this second half. Now pegged back at 1-1. If you've joined us late, coming out of the break, it was Ben Gibson from the penalty spot who slotted it past Parsons. And there's APIA back in this game, and there's Olympic with a bit of searching to do as they try and find this second goal. Armson checking in short. He's playing that link-up 9 role quite well with Gibson now on the wing. You'll see the APIA front three rotate. They'll do that at various points throughout the game, trying to throw different options at this Olympic defence, and they'll need all the help they can get in attack. Here goes Zorich. She had a very productive first half as Majok has made his run. Instead he goes towards Parkhouse. Floated delivery towards Pufflet. And he got to the ball first, but he couldn't keep his header down. be encouraging for Sydney Olympic. I have more than enough chances to try and lay claim to a second goal. That'll be for sure. Just about trying to remain clinical and avoiding doing further damage to themselves at the back. Knucklehaddon on the turn. Looking to spot out Pufflet. It would have been perfect pass if he was able to pull it off. Instead, it's back at the feet of the keeper, Parsons. Gordon. Now with Knucklehaddon, has Gibson ahead of him, and there's a bit of afters in that challenge there from Gibson. Advantage played by Lucas. APIA looking to try and match it physically. They'll have to be careful they don't get too carried away here as Majok tries to slalom his way through the APIA defence. Couldn't do so. And now Caspers has won his side a foul, and that's an easy decision for Stephen Lucas. It was APIA who were running down the other end, and Majok will protest his innocence. And he'll go into the book after going on the score sheet. Armson has his head up, looking to test Parsons from range. It would have taken something special to beat him from there. Had his head up, thought he was off his line. He was still tracking back well enough, was Parsons. Olympic will work things out from the back. Classic. Gives it out towards Politis. Zoricic. Down along the byline he goes. He's well met by Segredo. Going to try and fashion his way out of the corner here is Zach Zoricic. Getting it back to Knucklehaddon. Big do well to keep possession. You just see how much time and space they have in the midfield right now. It's with Glasic. Gives it along towards Much. Tracking back there is Gibson. He won it cleanly, says Stephen Lucas. And now Gibson can take it forward on his own. Waiting for his teammates to help him in support. He goes back to Yachino. Askew, APIA continuing to show bravery and confidence playing out from the back. They've done well. And that'll delight Franco Parisi and the travelling APIA support. And decent trip down on the motorway from Leichhardt to here in Cogra. As Pufflet has picked up the ball here, and now it's a straight 3v2 here for Olympic. They have numbers. It's with Parkhouse. O'Donovan and Majok in the box. O'Donovan wins the header, flicking it down for Pufflet. He threw everything at that, trying to win the ball. It was the APIA defence that beat him to it. And again, it's Olympic. They had the man advantage. They used it to full effect to create the 3-on-2. The cross was decent enough. It found the head of Roy O'Donovan. And Pufflet couldn't direct his second attempt goalwards. APIA felt like they had the throw. It will be with Parkhouse instead, and Segredo will be in no hurry to give the ball back to him. looks like Halidi is going to ring in a double change. It'll be Michael Vakis and Jack Simmons coming on. Sensing that momentum is getting away from his side. Need to make a difference. Here's Gibson. Decides against going forward. APIA will take control possession of the ball, and it might just be a triple sub as well. Looks like Antonis will be amongst the substitutes coming on for Halidi. Let's APIA retain possession for the time being. Armson using Jordan well, and Jordan just assumed that Sean Simmons was going to be there. And that's going to be the harsh reality for APIA, having been down to 10 since the 15th minute of the game. They're going to have plenty of tired legs out there. Now that triple change will come after that foul. Now Stephen Lucas has a bit of housekeeping to do, it looks like, with Armson and McElhatton. He's dealt with McElhatton for the time being. Now he's just in a stern talking to with Armson, the substitute. And there's a bit of disagreement here over this free kick. This will still be APIA ball. It's some distance out from goal. And as Halidi won't make the triple change just yet, or the fourth official's board from Isabella Mosson finally go up. Looks like he might wait until a more favourable opportunity. It'll be Segredo. And so there's 3 in the wall here. Will it be Uchino? There's 3 standing over it as well. Uchino was the last to place the ball. It's Adrian Uchino from distance. Got a decent enough radar on it to direct it goalwards, but it was just dipping over the bar. And now that change comes. So it'll be McElhatton, Majok, and Pufflet. They'll be coming out in place of McElhatton, Antonis, and Michael Vakis. So 3 sets of fresh legs out there now for Labino Halidi as they chase this game. I say chase, but the game is at 1-1, so it's technically level, but they've had the man advantage. They'll feel that if they're not able to convert this into a win, they'll feel that this was 2 points lost for them. As mentioned, this is a win they'd really love to have. Right now, they're 5 points behind Wollongong, who sit in 6th. And so if they were to win tonight, that deficit would cut down to 2, as Bizanis did well to keep the ball inside the box. So 2 points outside of the top 6 with 6 games remaining. They'll like their odds. Trying to make a run at the finals. They'll be certainly in the conversation as it's given away by Uchino. Here is O'Donovan, who goes himself. And testing Bizanis to full effect. He was at full reach to palm that away from danger. Rare giveaway by Adrian Uchino in midfield. He's usually so composed, is the veteran. The last person you want that falling to is Roy O'Donovan. And the ball comes from Simmons. Couldn't beat the first defender, but he'll stay with Olympic. Back they go to Ziggy Gordon. Now Glassick. Vakis. or much rather, shapes the cross. Again, couldn't beat the first defender. It's a frustrating couple of attempts at getting the ball into the area from Olympic as Glassick is whistled for the foul after shoving down Armson, and he joins Majok in the book. And 25 minutes remaining here at NSW Jubilee. It's certainly an intriguing finish that we're set up for. Game hangs at 1-1. Olympic still have that man advantage. They've had it for some time. Well, no doubt play a factor. The longer this game goes on, the legs of APIA get even more tired. Pass will attract attention from Vakis. You have to be careful with some of these passes out from the back. They don't give it away. I mentioned a few minutes ago, they've been confident in continuing to play out despite the position that they're in. As mentioned, does come with a bit of risk, and the risk is it falls to players like Roy O'Donovan on the edge of the area. It's only to keep it a beat. Armson. Pass to switch the attack. Here is Gibson, who can't get past his defender and collects Politis in the process. It stays with Olympic, with Glassick, who can shift it out wide. Antonis. Something brewing here for the hosts. It's with Vakis. O'Donovan makes his move and has just about stayed on side, but he had to check his run, which slowed his momentum and allowed Dakota Askew to come across and slide that out of trouble. Nevertheless, it'll be a corner for Olympic. They've had a couple now in the second half, looking to try and make use of the set piece. Park has to take. Last one was dealt with well by APIA. Delivery a bit longer this time, forces Bazanis to punch. There was a sea of bodies in the box to aim for. A couple of bodies down as well. Here is Antonis. They recycle with Zoricic. Different angle on the cross this time. Couldn't get it past Gibson. And APIA were looking to race away on the counter. It was Much who was back there to defend it. Gordon. Searching for options ahead of him. You can see APIA just sitting back now, willing to absorb a bit of pressure. Or 10 rather behind the ball for APIA. I shouldn't say 11. As here is Much. Uses Vakis, who was sliding as he turned. And there's a bit of a physical challenge for the ball. It was Segredo or rather Caspers, who went in a bit too eagerly for Stephen Lucas's liking. Saying that he went underneath him a bit late. Another set-piece opportunity for Olympic to try and get this second goal, an all-important second goal as well. Jack Simmons, the substitute over this one. He has a goal to his name against Marconi in round 19. This time he turns provider, looking to flick it in. And it wasn't far away. There were a couple of bodies who were laying claim to it. I think it was George Antonis who had his back heel out to stretch to the ball. Caspers has to be careful. They don't give away possession here, and they do. And Olympic now are hunting. Vakis tries to beat Simmons and couldn't get past Sean Simmons. He did well to get past Jack, though. Or Josh, rather. In the last 10 minutes or so, Olympic have really piled on the pressure. Spent almost the entire length of that time inside the attacking third. And just as I say that, now it's APIA's turn to try and spring something. It's a 2v4 against them. Now numbers are arriving. Segredo has made the lung-busting run forward. Here is Jordan Segredo. And he ran out of room. And that'll end in a goal kick. Olympic continue as much as the second half has since APIA have scored it. Means I see more possession around the halfway line as we look at the APIA bench. A couple of changes coming for Franco Parisi. It looks like it will be Michael Kuda and Luigi Detroya, or rather, it's Maxim Kasalovic. More on those two in a moment, and we'll stay with Olympic for now. Zoricic drifting inwards with Glasic, looking to link up as Uchino steps in to deny them any further progress. And now APIA, a 2v2 coming. It's Gibson who has Jordan to his left, tries to get around Ziggy Gordon, and that's a lovely challenge by Gordon, the veteran defender, showing all of his experience there to time that to perfection, and he needed to as well. Here comes that double sub now. So Michael Kuda comes on in place of Josh Simmons. So a like-for-like swap there at the back. And Adrian Uchino makes way for Maxim Kasalovic, making just his second first-grade appearance for APIA. Joined from the Mariners Academy, where he spent last season. Made his first-grade debut a week ago. And he gets his second first-grade appearance, and he's been thrown into the fire here by Franco Parisi. His side at 1-1 with 20 minutes to go, down a man. APIA have used 3 substitutes, as have Olympic. They've got one window remaining to make the remaining 2 subs. There is Gordon, who was screaming for that ball. He knew it was free and he wanted to recycle possession.
Substitute number 21, Michael Kuda, and number 29, Maxim Kasalovic, are replacing number 18, Adrian Uchino, and number 4, Josh Simmons.
Here is Olympic again. They have no problems getting the ball into this position. It's all about making it count, though. As here is Parkhouse looking to do just that. He got the assist for the first goal. It leaks out towards the back post. Rushing forward is Glasic. He had to be careful with Askew. The two of them raising their foot to the ball, throwing their entire body at it. Again, Olympic will have another chance at an attack after having to sustain wave after wave of pressure right now. Gibson doing his defensive duties that time, and he picks up the free kick for his team. And that'll just loosen the grip that Olympic have on them right now. If it is to happen for APIA, it will be a counter-attack. Even in the first half when they were down to 10, there were still a few moments where they had controlled possession in Olympic's half. But that trend hasn't really continued. There's a nervy moment at the back for Bazanis. It was Simmons who was rushing on. Seemed like it was being dealt with easily enough, but he took a heavy touch, and it was Simmons who was running him down, trying to get the easy tap in. And that would have been a frustrating way for APIA to concede, given the amount of defending they've done to be the masters of their own demise. As it's lofted forward for Simmons. And now he's out of position, and there's numbers on the far side, and that's exactly where they go. It's Parkhouse who has the speed to attack the space. Adam Parkhouse flashes wide of the goal. And he puts his head in his hands. He knows that was a golden opportunity for his side to try and get the lead back. They did well to find him over on that far side. He had the space and he attacked it. He used his speed. And wasn't far away from guiding that into the back of the net. And APIA really holding on now to this 1-all equal position they find themselves in. And it's given away yet again. This time it's Parkhouse. He has O'Donovan in the box. Might go himself here. Parkhouse cutting it back, and there was no one there. Simmons was making the run, but he was a bit late. And he was spoilt for choice there, was Adam Parkhouse, and I think that might have played on his mind. Could have gone one-on-one, could have cut it for O'Donovan. Instead, he chose the third option, which was a late arriving Jack Simmons. And again, it's Olympic who have another great chance on goal. They can't make it count, but they'll go again. There'll be plenty more. As Franco Parisi has sensed that things might be potentially taking a turn for a worst. He's gone to his bench yet again. He has Alex Denmead and Luigi DeTroy on their feet, which will be the final subs, which means he's cleared the bench now of all the outfield players, and there's no more subs left as we're into the final 15 minutes of play here at Netstrata Jubilee. It's Olympic who have their foot down in search of this second goal, but it's proving to be difficult to come by. They'll be made to work for it. As Michael Vakis is dragged down by Simmons, and Sean Simmons, that is, will go into the book as well. And Parkhouse again will have another set piece to try and work it towards goal. It's a few metres in from the sideline, about 10 metres in from the goal line, almost a corner really. Has that in-swinging left-footed delivery on his mind. Parkhouse with numbers in the box, and Stephen Lucas has a bit of work to do to clear out this crowd. Parkhouse to deliver, just one in the wall for Bazanis. Puts it towards the back stick, and there was a slip there at the back post at the vital moment. It was Jack Simmons who was out there. His eyes had lit up, seeing that he was in on goal, and he just slipped when he needed to. And that double sub comes now for APIA. So it's Ben Gibson, the goal scorer, who takes a well-deserved early break. His penalty has them back at 1-1. And Rory Jordan also makes way as another like-for-like swap with Alex Denmead going to the top of the attack. Alongside Luigi DeTroy, who'll go to left wing. So APIA have fresh legs up top as well. Make no mistake, they might have an avenue to getting that second goal. We'll give them a lead, an unlikely lead it would be. Have to have defence at the forefront of their mind right now. Here is Askew, who takes on Parkhouse, taking the risk, and he was rewarded for it as Kasalovic has the ball at his feet, the substitute. Kaspers looking to unleash the fresh legs of Denmead, and he's gotten behind his defender here. He's gone down, and Stephen Lucas has said that he went down a bit too easy there. As APIA were up in arms, and if that was a foul, there would have been an additional debate on top of that of whether it was inside the box. It certainly would have been close. And this game goes from one end to the other as Kasalovic fouls Simmons, and might be a bit lucky that he doesn't get carded here. And it's really an all-action final 10 minutes or so here at Netstrata Jubilee. And now Tenquol joins the rest of the substitutes. He comes on in place of Parkhouse, who will be thinking about that one-on-one opportunity he had just a moment ago where he squared it unselfishly for Simmons. And Tenquol has come on. He's usually known for being a bit of a defender. He's made his way straight into the box. He has a few goals to his name, does Tenquol, particularly from set pieces. That's where his height can prove to be difficult for defenders to deal with. I don't know, Halidi might have that in mind as he's brought him on here to try and make the difference. Classic. He's looking for Vakis. It was chested down by Sean Simmons instead. And APIA make their way out of trouble. A calm little turn that is from Jack Armson. Again, they look towards Denmead. He almost had success a moment ago against Politis. That time, Politis was equal to the task. Here is Quoll in midfield. It's with Vakis. Again, Sean Simmons with some more stand-up defending. Great strength there by Ten Quoll. Looking to get around a couple of defenders. Lost it at his feet, and APIA just go for distance. Anywhere will do. As the bounce got the better of Denmead, that fell into his hand. Zoricic evades the first challenge. Still, it's Olympic, who we'll see plenty of the ball as we tick into the final 10 minutes now. Glasic. There's one inside a corner. Another chance for Olympic from the set piece. They'll have the tall timber arriving. 10 Quolls in the mix. Peter Politis also making his way into the box row. Donovan's not too shabby in the air either. Simply cannot take your eyes away from how this game might finish. As Jack Simmons puts it into the area. It's put in on goal, and Ziggy Gordon didn't know all that much about it. It fell to his feet. He might have deflected off him and might have actually saved APIA the way that ball was travelling. Olympic will have it once again. Momentarily, APIA had the counter. Here is Gordon. Ten Quoll coming inside onto his right. Floated delivery. It'll go over all of them, and APIA will get another break, this time with a throw. And just taking a look back at that replay, it looks like it was Glasic who rose highest. And then Ziggy Gordon had the slightest of touches, which took the sting out of the header, made it easy for Bazanis to claim. As APIA now are in their own corner, and they've done well there to win themselves a goal kick. Denmead is all on his own once again. Doesn't have the pace to beat Zoricic. Will play themselves back forward once more with Glasic. Quoll has turned and has found Vakis. His touch was heavy though. Might have been thinking about the return pass instead, and that's cheeky work there from Sean Simmons with the back heel. It's now APIA's turn. They haven't been in this position too many times where they can just slow things down in the attacking half. As Olympic now will get numbers behind the ball. Good combination on the wing. It's with Denmead momentarily, was combining with Caspers. APIA will take no time. Will take their time rather in finding an option from a throw. It's a rare occasion. They've been in this position as mentioned. They want to make the most of it. Maybe give their defenders a bit of a break. 83 minutes gone here at Netstrata Jubilee. It's Ben Gibson's penalty straight out of the halftime break that has APIA back at 1-1 after Majok's first half goal for Olympic, as Simmons will strike, and that'll be catching practice for Parsons. Great burst of speed on the wing, and now O'Donovan looking to get the other side of Segredo, and he has. Segredo does well and just sends that out onto the hill. APIA will stick more numbers behind the ball here to try and deny Olympic. They've done well to keep it at 1-1, but it's been more than a few nervy moments for them. As Gordon will try and do it all on his own, and that won't have Bazanis worried. Interesting to see in these next 5 minutes or so how much APIA really go for it. If they're content to hold on to the 1-1 draw, if they're maybe thinking about getting a second goal here. Inclination would be to sit back and absorb whatever Olympic have coming at them. Olympic will have to be wary on the other end as well. Denmead, since coming on, has shown a nice touch of speed. Maxim Kasalovic. Plenty of responsibility on his shoulders in just his second appearance, as for the first time this afternoon we've seen a bit of miscommunication on this left wing, for APIA that is. Politis has done well to spot Zoricic, who continues to make marauding runs from fullback. This time it's at his feet. It's with Zach Zoricic on the edge of the area, looking for a bit of support. It comes in the form of Glasic. And it's promptly taken away from them, and a momentary gap appeared in the APIA defence. It was promptly shut. As they continue to try and barge down the door of this APIA defence. They have 10 behind the ball. It's with Antonis. Jack Simmons goes one way, then the other, moving it out to Much. Thought about the cross, and they just got the angle all wrong there. Did Olympic. It was Michael Vakis who was attempting to wrap his foot around the ball and put in a swerving and dipping cross into the box. Here is Kuda. He's just falling out of play. He's assisted on the near side, just putting his flag up immediately. Charbel Geha. Olympic continue to pile on the pressure. Here is Vakis again. That pass doesn't go where it was intended, and touch might have been a bit loose from Denmead, but he does well to recover. Those will have to do it without much help. Instead, he plays the safe pass back to Segredo, who's put in a decent shift as a makeshift right back. Jordan Segredo. Franco Breezy's side have been well and truly tested since Guatemala was sent off. Good header in the air, that is, by Much. And now Vakis has done well to turn Caspers and has numbers forward. This is just a little undercooked. That allowed Segredo to recover. That one will be allowed to bounce. Again, Olympic. Another wave of attack coming. It's really an onslaught they're putting on now. It's a siege to the APIA goal. Play continues. Momentary thoughts about a foul there on George Antonis. He promptly plays it forward to Glasic. Looking to unleash Zach Zoricic. Will need to be at full stretch. And couldn't keep it in as that attack breaks down from Olympic. Kasalovic. There is Caspers and Kuda using Sean Simmons. Caspers again looking to turn around Gordon. And Gordon waves the finger on the youngster, telling him it won't be all that easy. Caspers, of course, won the foul, but got his side the penalty. He's had some good contributions as well, as it's given away by APIA. And now here is Roy O'Donovan. He's had a quiet second half as O'Donovan, but he's looking to make the impact now when it counts. Out it goes to Simmons. Pass intercepted by Segredo. And Segredo's solid night at right back continues. As we're into the final couple minutes now. Continue again though. To just tick down the clock, keep the ball in their possession, avoid any potential danger to their goal, and maybe cause a bit of chaos up front as well, as Detroit loses out to Gordon and Much. Lessons' clearance is only as far as Caspers, as here goes Kasalovic. Going in strong to win it back was Antonis. He did well there. Simmons dropping it short, and here is O'Donovan. He's on an island out on the wing against Dakota Askew. Flick forward, looking to use the pace of Zoricic, who got there first, and Segredo got a touch, and that means it'll be another Olympic corner. Down into the final minute of regulation time now. All eyes on the fourth official, Isabella Mosson, as to how much time they'll be added on. For now, though, it's an Olympic corner. It goes near post, and that's easily dealt with by Armson. And if they can get the ball here, they might be able to spring a counter. And they have. It's Denmead. He's got no one with him, though. Has Zoricic for company. Goes to ground, wanted the foul, but it was just a bit of shoulder to shoulder. And in the end, it's Olympic who come away with the ball. Up goes the board. It'll be 3 minutes of time added on, so that's how long is left for Olympic to try and find this second goal. They've come so close in this second half. Rattled the woodwork in the first as well. There's Antonis, not seeing what he liked, decided to go back as Politis will advance the ball now. Simmons looking for Tenquol in behind. This is a good opportunity for Olympic to try and work something. It's with Tenquol trying to turn his defender one way then the other. Kuda has fresh legs as well. Antonis trying to weave through traffic and couldn't, but it's still with Olympic as Quol eventually tries the cross. Almost won the corner. Segredo did well to prevent it, but his side might still be under a bit of danger as in comes the ball, but it's too close to Dakota Askew, who then just gives it to Segredo. And he goes for territory on the clearance. Politis. You can see APIA camped so deep now. Doing everything they can to defend this 1-1 scoreline. A valuable point it would be considering the circumstances. Been down to 10 since the 15th minute. Playing away from home against their local rivals as well. Olympic trying to get an all-important 3 points that puts them within touching distance of the top 6. If it stays this way, they'll be 4 points back. Zoricic. In it goes towards Antonis. It's back out for Vakis. Cries of handball are waved away by Lucas, saying it was on his chest. Difficult to tell from up here, but I'm inclined to agree. Vlasic again. Olympic searching for any opening they can get. It's moving from side to side. In the ball goes to the box. Cleared away by Kuda. Roy O'Donovan was leaking out there in search of what would have been a tap-in at the back stick. Again, Olympic come in search of this second goal. Wave after wave now. Ball goes back post, and they took the gamble, hoping that much would get onto it, but it is only into the gloves of Anthony Bazanis. As we're into the second minute, or third minute rather, of stoppage time now. Time is running out for either side if they want the winner. It'll be certainly APIA who'll be happy of the two sides if they're to get this point. They're relatively safe in the top 6. They're basically out of the conversation for the Premier's plate. Politis. APIA set so deep now, basically on their own 18-yard box. And that's the final action of the half. A classic local derby contest between two historical rivals, and they can't be separated after 90. APIA had to do it the hard way after going down to 10 after Guatemala was sent off at the 15th minute. And shortly after that, it was Abraham Majok who took full use of the man advantage to give Olympic the 1-0 lead. But then out of the break, it was Eddie Caspers who went down in the box, won his side a penalty, which was coolly dispatched by Ben Gibson. And then from there, it was Olympic who continued to pile on the pressure, but they couldn't make it count. And in the end, they'll have to share the points, but it'll feel like 2 points lost for Olympic and a point gained for APIA. And so full time here at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. I've been Will Constantinides with you for commentary. We'll see you back soon this weekend for more NPL New South Wales men's action.